Hey guys, welcome back. Looking at the notes for scientific notation. Scientific notation is a number written in scientific notation when it is in the form of, we should write in c times 10 to the nth power. Okay, so this is really to represent really big numbers or really small numbers. So the number c has to be greater than or equal to 1, and it has to be less than 10. So you're only going to have one digit before the decimal point in scientific notation. Okay, so 3.2 times 10 to the third is an example of it. Or maybe you had 2.5 times 10 to the negative 2. It's always times 10 and then to an exponent. Okay, what you're not going to have is a number that's smaller than 1. Okay, times 10, that would not be in the form. It's always the numbers between, it's going to be 1 or larger, and it's going to be less than 10. So the number 16 million in standard form, if we wrote it out, it would be 16 million like that, but in scientific notation form, it would be 1.6. We put the decimal right between the first two numbers, times 10, and then you just count how many, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That would be to the 7th power. So that represents a very large number. Notice it has a positive exponent. The number 200ths, if I wrote that out in standard form, it would look like 0.02. Okay, so we'd have 200ths. So in order to write that, it would be 2, and we'd go 2 decimal places to the right. So it would be 10 times 10 to the 2 times 10 to the negative 2 power, and that would be 200ths. Okay, so with scientific notation, to do our calculations, we actually just use the calculator. So I just want to show you in this video really how to use the calculator and make sure that you know how to put the calculator into the form that it's called scientific mode right here. Okay, so in looking at the examples we have here, I'm going to just show you, I'm going to switch over to the actual calculator so I can show it to you. Okay, so here we have the calculator. Now right here, if you notice, is the mode button. Okay, if you press the mode button, you've got something called normal mode, you've got scientific mode, and engineering mode. So we in Algebra 1 just deal between normal mode and scientific mode. So you use the cursor to actually get over to, I want scientific mode, so I'm going to press the enter there. And if you notice, up at the top menu, it says SCI. That means when I look at it, I can see it's in scientific mode. If I went back to normal mode, all right, say I had pressed enter there, moved it to normal mode, and then I cleared, you can see the top menu says normal. Okay, but we want to make sure that we actually have it in scientific mode. So I'm going to change the mode here. Okay, and always make sure you know how to go toggle between the two. Okay, so I'm putting it into scientific mode, and then I go, I just clear and go back to calculator. So now I'm in scientific mode. So the first example we have, we're taking two numbers and we're multiplying them together. I'm just going to take the whole problem and just put it here. 5. Whoops, let me make sure. 0.6. Make this a little bit bigger. 5. So we've got our 5.6. Okay, this is times 10. And it's going to be to the negative 4 power. So in our first example, so this is negative 4. Okay, I'm going to cursor over, make it so that my parentheses is the same size. Then I'm going to make another open parentheses. Okay, and this is going to be 1.4. Okay, times 10 to the negative 5 times 10. And it's going to be to the negative 5 power. Okay, cursor over 1, close my parentheses, and when I hit enter, okay, notice I get 7.84, and then I have this E. E means that's what the exponent is. So when I write my answer, when I go back to the screen, I'm actually going to write my answer here as 7.84 times 10 to the negative 9 power. And that's what it would be. Okay, so notice we have the same base here with the tens. If we added the exponent, we would get negative 9. 5.6 times 1.4, 7.84. So it works that way. Okay. All right. Sometimes, now if I look at number 2, let's go back to the calculator for number 2. All right. And let's make sure we can do that. Okay. The second example, we've got 3.2 times 10 squared. Let's put it in parentheses. 3.2 times 10. And that's going to be to the 2nd power. Okay, we're going to go over, close our parentheses, make sure your parentheses are the same size, Now we're going to actually take that and raise the whole thing to the third power, like that. So it should look like that on your screen. When you press enter, you're going to get 3.27 times 10 to the 7th power. So let's go back to our notes and make sure we can type that in. Oops. Wrong one. Okay, Active Inspire. Okay, so then the second one is going to be 3.28 times 10 to the positive 7. So you always have to write times 10 to the power. Okay? All right, number 4 is a division problem. Now, I want you to be careful with number 4. So you can either do it, let's show you in the calculator here. Okay, so if I set that one up, I can actually put it in as a fraction. So I can either go to, I could go over to math, all right, and then go up to that fraction menu option right there and enter the whole problem in just as a fraction. So it's going to be in the form of, let's see, this is the actual second number 2. It's kind of numbers off, but let's put it in as 3.5 times 10, and it's going to be to the negative 3 power. Okay, and then we're dividing by 1.75 times 10 to the negative 5 power. Okay, press enter, and we get 2e2, which means this is 2 times 10 to the 2nd power. So when we go to our screen, this would be 2 times, I'm actually on the wrong screen here, it should be right here. This would be 2 times 10 to the 2nd power. Okay, so again, we had a problem with the numbering, if you looked at that. Okay, did I do that first one? Skipped it. It's acting kind of weird. All right, let's try the next one. We've got 2.01 times 10 to the negative 7 power, and we're going to square it. So we're just going to flip again back to the calculator, make sure we can just put it in the calculator. It's open parentheses, so we've got 2.01. Oops. 0.01 times 10 is going to be to the negative 7 power. Go over 1, close parentheses, and that whole thing is going to be squared. So then we hit enter, and we get 4.0401 times e to the negative 14th power. So let's write our answer here as 4.04 times 10 to the negative 14th power. Okay. So if you want to go through and just practice these just using the calculator, that would be great practice, and then compare it to the answer key that's out on Student View. If you're, just try that, and then hopefully this will fill in some of the gaps, and we're going to go over it a little bit more in class, but I just wanted some of you to have just a quick tutorial on how to use the calculator. Thank you. Bye-bye.